Welcome back, fellas, to another day in the NBA. It is March 10th, Monday, and there's 12 games on this NBA slate. Now, there are a few interesting games here before I even hop into anything else. There are a few things to note. It looks like most of Utah will be questionable. Looks like Luka is questionable, but Utah is probably going to rest almost all their starters. Sexton, Markkanen, Collins, and Kessler all might be out. Tatum is also questionable without Horford. They might be out. Luka Doncic might be out this game. Tyrese Halliburton's on the question mark as well. And Fred VanVleet, we don't know if he's playing. About every other team, though, is around full strength or roughly full strength. So should be some interesting games here nonetheless. Let's hop straight into the slate. Starting with Atlanta, a -8.5 against the Sixers. Seems like a pretty good bet. Obviously, Trae Young is going to play. Dyson, everyone on the crew there. Going against a Kelly Oubre and Tyrese Maxey-led Sixers team. Don't really think that's going to come from anything. I think Atlanta's going to cover business pretty well here at home against Philly. Then we have Toronto and Washington. The spread is 6.5. Scotty and RJ are playing against this Washington team. Quickly's playing. I think Toronto can get it done here. No real crazy takeaways or winners here that I would be drastically taking the Washington side of things. Utah looks like they're resting all their starters. Boston by 100. Charlotte against Miami. Charlotte's at full strength. I kind of like them to cover this 9.5 mark. They've been playing decent ball over the past few games, so I expect them maybe to be able to keep it up. Mark Williams is playing in this game, which should obviously help against Kellen Ware. Obviously, Bam versus Miles. Miles has been playing out of his mind. Hero is playing. That should be a good matchup. We need LaMelo Ball to keep up, but LaMelo versus Davion is obviously an interesting matchup. We'll see how that goes. By like Charlotte plus 9.5. Lakers -6. I like them to cover that against this Brooklyn team that is just so wishy-washy. If Luka plays, I like them. If Luka does not play, then I'm going to be slamming Brooklyn. But as long as Luka and Hayes are playing as they are right now, this should be an easy Lakers cover. Denver at OKC, there is a little bit of a change up there where Russell Westbrook is now starting at the 1 for Denver because Aaron Gordon is out. So it's going to look like Russ, Jamal, Christian Braun, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic here against OKC. SGA is going to be playing in this one. He was listed as questionable for a second, but now he's back. Isaiah Hartenstein is starting at the 5, so that's something to know as well as there's no Chet Holmgren. But I do like OKC to cover the -8.5 mark again against Denver. Shea just proving why he should be the MVP in the past few games. It's just seems obvious to me, at least. Then we have the Pacers at Chicago. They're favored right now by -4.5. I think that should be a solid line. I think Indiana is going to cover that. 4.5 feels like a good spot against a Chicago team that is just questionable all around. Defensively right now, Trey Jones is going to be starting at the point. No Lonzo. Vooch might not be playing as well. So if Vooch doesn't play, then I really like the Pacers. Hallie's looking like he's going to play. So he should be good on that end. The rest of the Pacers are pretty much healthy. Should be an easy cash here for the Pacers, and I think this could be a blowout potential. Just keep your eyes on that if you're betting on it. Then we have Orlando at Houston. Houston is -4 favorites in this one. There's no Amen Thompson. I don't know how that shakes up the lineup, so I think I'm going to lean Orlando here. The +4 feels like it makes the most sense. Franz and Paolo, Wendell Carter playing. Tyree Eason is starting at the 4. I don't know scoring-wise how it's really going to help compared to having Amen there. I think it's going to benefit Orlando more than anyone else. Then we have Phoenix at Memphis. Memphis is at home, favored by 5 points. And I like them to I like Phoenix to cover in this one. Obviously, there's no JJJ. I think that changes up some things. I think it's going to be a Desmond Bain, John Morant show, as it kind of has to be. Book and KD on the other side are going to have to do their normal thing. Bull's been playing actually decent basketball, which is crazy to say. I think Phoenix can cover this one and keep this a pretty close game. Dallas at San Antonio. San Antonio is favored by 5.5 here. Obviously, it's just this Dallas team is horrible. I watched them play yesterday, and it made my eyes want to bleed. They are bad on almost every level. They are bad, and I feel bad because they were supposed to be good, and they're not at all. So, going to take San Antonio here by 5.5 pretty easily. Portland at Golden State. I really like this spot for Golden State. Over-under is 231.5, so a solid scoring line as well. Steph Curry's been going off with Jimmy Butler now in the lineup. Quentin Post is starting at center to keep up with Donovan Clingan. So this should be an interesting thing there with Draymond not starting at the 5. I'm going to be intrigued to see how that plays out. Either way, I like Golden State to cover here. They've been playing out of their minds. They're playing great basketball, and they're scoring a ton of points. And the last game we're going to have is the Knicks versus Sacramento. Sacramento is favored by -1 right now. It is a coin flip. I've seen this go back and forth on multiple books. It's been Knicks -1, Sacramento -1, Knicks -1.5 at one point, Knicks -2 at one point, then went back to second. Like, it's been all over the place. I just have it on the graphic as -1. It's a pick 'em. You can pick pretty much either side, and it'll go one way or the other as long as someone doesn't lose by 1 point. With that being said, you're pretty much taking the money line. I would lean Sacramento's money line here at home. Plus, they have no Jalen Brunson on the other side. Obviously, you have OG back. You're looking at Hard, OG, and Cat. Mikal Bridges, Miles McBride hasn't been playing bad. They probably can hold it down. But Keon Ellis has been playing great basketball recently. Zach LaVine's starting to finally find his rhythm with scoring. DeMar DeRozan can kind of pick it up as well. And Keegan Murray's not been playing bad at all. Jonas Valanciunas honestly fits this defense way better than I thought he would, and this offense at least, to where I think Sacramento can kind of hold it down here at home and win this ball game in a low-scoring game. Obviously, we don't have a recap for yesterday. I didn't do plays yesterday, so if you're looking for the recap, there isn't one for today. Yesterday, I just had some things come up. Wasn't able to get a video out, wasn't able to make plays. But if we're looking at the full month of March right now, in the NBA, we are minus 0.2 units. We're literally even pretty much at this point in time, depending on how much money you put on where. For the NBA, obviously we've had like if you look at our calendar on Pickett, it is just 2 greens, 2 reds, 2 greens, 2 reds. We had a red on Saturday, obviously with a few lines missing. Austin Reeves hooking. Obviously, Zion with the blowout. We just had some unfortunate luck there. I feel really confident with the reads, though. The CLV also has been fantastic this month. So I know we're going to start hitting here soon. This is the same thing that happened last month, and then we went on an absolute tear. So let's hope we can do that here and start ripping starting today. For today, we're going to be starting with Devin Booker to go over 27.5 points. I really like this spot for D-Book. Obviously, going against Memphis, I feel like this is a juicy matchup to take advantage of. There's no JJJ. I think it's going to be probably a high-scoring back-and-forth affair. With that being said, in away games this season, Book has hit this in 57% of games and 3 straight away games versus Memphis, including 1 already this season. Not only that, but they played just back earlier in February. Obviously, the 2/25 date, so at the end of February, not too long ago, he dropped 28 points in that matchup. It's just a great matchup in this one. He's playing the point guard in this game, which is something to note, as Memphis allows the 4th most points to opposing point guards right now. As well as in Devin Booker's last 10 away games, he's hit over this line in 7 of his last 10, as well as he's averaging 28.5 points per game. And in his last 5 games, he's hit this in 4 of the last 5 away games, averaging 29 points in those games. So he's seeing a ton of volume in that regard. He's seeing the shots that we're looking for, as he's averaging over 19 field goal attempts in away games so far this season. And he's been shooting a pretty good percentage so far in these away games, averaging a 48.4% field goal percentage in the past 10 games, shooting a ton of threes. The only game he missed was his last game, or one of the only games he missed was his last game where he shot 0 for 6 from 3. I don't think he's going to shoot 0 for 6 again. So he should have a pretty good volume there. He's been shooting free throws as well. Averaging 8 free throw attempts per game, so we should see a pretty high volume there. As Memphis fouls a ton to opposing point guards, so we should see a high volume of that as they rank 10th, as they foul the 10th highest rate to opposing point guards this season. So should lead to some high volume there for D-Book in a great matchup. He's been crushing this. I think he's going to continue to crush this, and we're going to keep it pushing. In that same game, I want to stick in that same game because I want to go to Desmond Bane to go over 30.5 points and assists. A lot of people are going to take his points and rebounds. He's seeing a ton of potential rebounds. I respect that entirely. If you want to go that way, you can. He's not hit this in many games this season. Only 23% of games. So you're probably like, why the hell are we betting? Or that's away games. Only 21% of games this season. You're probably like, why the hell are we betting this right now? This is insane to be betting this. Well, it's a great matchup, and that's kind of the way I want to look at it and the way I want to take advantage of it, as this is going to be more of a nitty-gritty kind of breakdown compared to the normal, just like, hey, matchup this, matchup that, whatnot. So the assist chart we're looking at for Desmond Bane is something I want to kind of point out, right? The assist chart for when you're looking at an assist chart, you're like, where does he get most of his assists at this season? He gets 29% of his assists beyond the arc, right? That's where this team ranks 22nd in the entire league. They're the 8th worst team at defending shots beyond the arc. He also gets 27% of his assists in the mid-range area. They rank the 4th worst against that. The Phoenix does against them. That's 27%, 29%. That's over 50% of assists come from just in those two areas. And obviously teams and players have been hitting over this line at a pretty consistent rate at the shooting guard position. This line is 5.5 for a reason, and it's juiced at 5.5. So us getting it at 5.5 for the points plus assists feels like a good spot. Now to the shot chart, they're just as bad at these spots as they are the assists. But in transition, they allow the 4th most points, which is where 28% of Desmond Bane's points come from. Also, 11 of the last 15 shooting guards have gone over their points and assists mark this season. 33% of his shots come from beyond the arc this season. They're the 4th worst team from beyond the arc. From a scoring perspective, they're the 7th worst team against a pick and roll ball handler. That's where 17% of his shots come from. Just a great overall matchup. There is no JJJ in the past 2 games, where there has been no JJJs hit over this line, having over 23 field goal attempts in both games. I think he's going to see a very high volume, over 20 field goal attempts in this one. He's going to have to see a high usage. He's been seeing the potential assists as well, averaging over 10 a game. So if he sees 10 potential assists, 23 shots, that's more than enough volume. I think he should easily crush over this line like he has been recently. And again, the last time he played Phoenix, he had 34 PA. I think he can do something similar here today. And our next play is going to be Isaiah Hartenstein over 10.5 rebounds. This is just a great spot to get him at. You can get him at 11 for plus money if you want. That's where I kind of like to get the value there. But he's a little bit of juice at the 10.5, so we're going to be taking there. 69% of games without Chet Holmgren, he's hit over this mark. Chet is not playing tonight. Now he's a great matchup versus a Denver defense that is allowing a ton of rebounds to opposing centers. Over the course of the season so far, they're allowing the 13th most rebounds to opposing centers, and it's kind of been consistent with that. Obviously, as Jokic has been playing the entire time. Obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein, the last time these two teams played, recorded 11 rebounds in their games, and he's hit on players similar to Isaiah Hartenstein, which is how Props Madness kind of divides this up. 9 of the last 15 centers have hit over this line. He's close to Nick Richards, Mark Williams, Rudy Gobert, Alfred Sengun, Daniel Gafford, those types of centers that are just bigger bodies that are going to play closer to the basket. That's kind of how they compare them. 9 of the last 15 of those centers have done that against this Denver defense. With that also being said, he just hit over this line against them last game. He also hit this over against the Grizzlies. He's going to be starting this game in games where he plays over 28 minutes, which is what we kind of want to look at when he's starting. I think he easily sees 28 minutes unless there's some kind of blowout. He's hit this in 75% of games this season without Chet. So, again, I think that gives him a ton of opportunity to crush this line. He's going to see the volume we're looking for. Rebound chances-wise, when he sees over 28 minutes, he averages 22.3 rebound chances per game. That is more than enough to absolutely smash this line. He has a great matchup. He's also seeing the starter minutes. This should be a closer game than the lines expect. Obviously, Jokic is going to want to keep this close, not only for his MVP sake, but just to keep Denver close to the top of the boards in the West. So it's going to be an interesting matchup here. I think this is a game I'm excited for. We just saw this game unfold yesterday. Some great basketball being played. And I think Isaiah Hartenstein gets it done on the rebounding side of things. Heading to our next play, I like LaMelo Ball plus money. I like it at 6.5 assists. I know it seems high on the surface, but he has been crushing this line in 57% of games this season. And against this Miami team, he's hit this in 7 of his last 9 games versus them in his career. So he's been able to do this in the past. This team also has the 6th most assists to opposing point guards this season. Not only that, but they are middle of the pack against assists over the past 7 games. They rank 12th, so however you want to say that, it's just middle of the pack in my opinion. So it's not like it's a bad matchup by any means. If anything, it's leaning closer to a great matchup. He's off the injury report, so he should be 100% good to go. Mark Williams is also off the injury report, and when he plays with Mark Williams, he's hit over this mark in 53% of games, 9 of 17. He's been able to take advantage of this pretty well, and in away games, he's been hitting this at over a 50% clip as well. The potential assists have also been there over the past 10 games that we've been looking at. When playing 30 minutes like he should tonight, he's averaging over 13 potential assists per game. So when his line's only at 6.5, you think that's a pretty great spot nonetheless. Not only that, but three of the last 5 point guards, have gone over on their assist line versus this team. It's crazy. LaMelo just saw a game against Golden State where he had 7 assists off just 8 potentials. So he's been able to do it at a pretty crazy efficient rate as well when seeing 30 minutes. So as long as he sees 30 minutes like he should, he's hit this in 65% of games where he's seen 30 minutes. This team allows a good amount of assists over the past 7 games as well as the season, 2 point guards. So again, the matchup is there as well. And as a team in general, this Miami team allows the 12th most assists as a team to opposing point guards, and 9 of the last 15 point guards have gone over this mark. The assist chart, like I talked about with Desmond Bane, pretty even across the board. They allow the 12th most assists in the mid-range area. They allow the 10th most assists beyond the arc, where 27% of his assists come, 18% of his come from the mid-range, 41% of his assists come in the paint, where they're 15th. So there's all middling matchups for the assists. So it's just going to come down to can LaMelo get it done or not. And I think he does, as he has with a very high hit rate when playing good minutes, as he should today off the injury report in general. So those are my bets for today. We have Devin Booker, Desmond Bane as a hard sign of LaMelo Ball. If you guys enjoy these sort of videos, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, all that sort of fun shit down below. Make sure to tune into the live coming later today. Should be around the afternoon time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'll say something in Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, make sure to join that. Outside of that, that will be it for today. So make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.